Alright, hey y'all, it's your American Ari, period. Already know, back in another video.
Dip off in a race, you come to the crib and get stopped at the gate. I'm getting this cake, I'm not the same nigga from Michigan State. I'm getting this cake, I'm richer and wiser, a lot is at stake. And Google was lying, that's not what I make, it's time to my aim. I put in the hours, these broke niggas sour.
I posted like what videos do you guys want me to make, because you know I got my hair done, period. Got some braids, I already know, some knotless braids. So I wouldn't be making hair videos for a little while. So I asked you guys what videos you guys want me to do, and you guys said, you know, do a baking video, because you know, like I'll be whipping it up in the kitchen, period. We get down in the kitchen. I can't cook at all, but I can bake. So I'm going to be baking dark chocolate fudge brownies. You probably can't see it because the words are gonna be flipped backward because this is on my phone. But yeah, I'm making brownies. It's not from scratch. You know, the little box mix, but whatever. I'll be doing my little thing regardless. And you know, got the little icing. I mean, you probably not gonna need icing for brownies, but I'll make any excuse to eat any amount of sugar I want. So anyways, that's that. I have my utensils and everything, the little thing that you're gonna use to, you know, whatever it is that you do, and the bowl, and you know. So that's that. So it says 2 large eggs, water, and vegetable oil, if you want it to be like more of a cake than a brownie. But then 1 egg if you want it to be a brownie. Speaking of vegetable oil, do I have vegetable oil? Probably not. I'm probably going to use olive oil or something to improvise if I don't find the vegetable oil. But I'm going to go ahead and set out my ingredients, and I will see you guys after. Alright, hey y'all, so I gathered all my little ingredients. So I have the vegetable oil, I have the cup of water, I have the eggs. I'm only going to be using 1 egg and not the 2, because I want it to be like actual brownies, not cakey, more like brownie. So if that makes sense to y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm kind of thinking, I don't know if I should like pour the stuff in there and then add the stuff in there, or add the stuff then pour the stuff in there. Let me read it. It says prep oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh, that's a good thing. Do I have a pan to put the stuff into? I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I found a pan. So preheat the oven to 350. My phone's actually on the oven, so period. Okay, so I'm gonna put the mix in there. It says 31 to 34 minutes for 8 by 8 inch, 27 to 30 minutes for a 9 by 9 inch, and 21 to 23 minutes by a 13 times 9 inch. I don't know what type of by inch, whatever the span is. I'm gonna put it in there and I'm gonna check on it 20 minutes after, because it don't really matter what size pan it is. It's basically telling me it's gonna take more than 20 minutes to bake. So when it hits like 20 minutes, I'll check on it, give it another 5 minutes, and see what goes on. So yeah. Yeah, and there's no dairy in this, which is really good. Took me a while to find one that did not have dairy, because I'm lactose intolerant and I don't have time to be taking ibuprofen every time I want to eat a fucking brownie, so I'm not shitting myself. Which I do that, like whenever I have dairy, like whenever I get milkshakes from work, I'll take ibuprofen afterwards, but I be forgetting sometimes, and I'll be on the bathroom, like I be in the bathroom contemplating my life choices. Anyways, besides the point. Oh, after I got the pan, I had washed my hands. Just let y'all know. Like, you should always wash your hands before and after being in the kitchen. You know, that's like, you know, food safety 101. I had washed my hands after I got the pan. You know. My mom was telling me to only use half the bag because I'm not going to use all, because I'm not going to eat all of it. One, that's false because I'm a fat ass. And two, if I use half the bag, I'm going to forget that half the bag is even in the house to actually bake it another time. I'm going to just go ahead and bake everything. As long as I clean the kitchen, she should be fine. And I already made a mess. Okay. Dust that on the ground. Anyways, here's the mix. So, I don't know. I feel like I should put the egg, the water, and the oil, since they're all wet ingredients and this is dry. I feel as though I should mix those in a bowl separate, then pour it in here and then mix it together. But is that gonna give me more dishes to wash than I already need? Like, am I doing too much? No, I feel like if I try to mix it in here, the powder is gonna go everywhere and that's gonna give me more to clean. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just get a little bowl. Got it. So we're gonna put this mix aside. And we're gonna get this bowl. Purple, my favorite color, period. Got a little purple over here. Anyways, how much oil am I supposed to pour in this thing though? That's the thing. 1/3 cup of oil. I don't have a measuring cup. The ghetto. Does this look like 1/3 to y'all? This look like 1/3 to me. Look at me chefing it up in the kitchen, period. Ooh, that's a whole lot of oil. That's money. That's money. Oh, top the cover. Why won't you go back on? Ugh. Anyways. So while I'm mixing in this cake batter, normally I could probably just cut the video and fast forward to when I'm putting it in the oven, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take this time out to talk about what we all know has been going on. Like we've been seeing on the news, all the peaceful protesting and the riots because of, you know, the sad death of George Floyd. Condolences to his families, friends, and co-workers, and etc. Everyone who loved him, you know. I may have not known him personally, but, you know, that's my brother. Like, that's my brother. And, you know, I'm not even really surprised that what happened to George Floyd, because it's been happening to so many innocent black people before George Floyd. Take it back to Emmett Till days. This has been going on for a while now. It has been going on for a long time. It's not something new. It's not something that just popped up overnight. You know, African Americans in this country fought for civil rights, had a whole civil rights movement how many years ago, and they still haven't, you know, achieved civil rights. I mean, I may not be African American, but I'm black, and I am a woman, and I'm an LGBTQ plus community member, and I live in America. And I'm pretty sure when white people see me, or when the white officers see me, they're not gonna stop and think that, oh, maybe she's not African American. They're gonna group me as an African American. So I may not be African American, but I'm still black, living in America. And you know, it's just sad that what happened to George Floyd happened to George Floyd. You know, like, took this man life over what? A $20 check? Killed this man over $20. Really? And it wasn't even really about the money. So that just goes to, that's just an excuse to justify the racism and the police brutality. So that just goes to show, like, they're really out here killing us for no reason at all. Jogging, a $20 bill, sleeping in our own apartment that we pay for, that we have a lease for. Like, come on now, do better. Like, I'm not saying all white people are racist and bad people. I'm not saying that all cops and all white cops are racist and bad people, but this is not okay. You know, I'm in debate in school, or, you know, the school year's over now, so I was in debate. I took debate because, you know, I want to be a journalist. So I take a lot of electives that have to do with what I want to do. So I took debate my junior year. I'm about to be a senior, or I am a senior, period. And I, right before school closed, the last assignment we did was I wrote a speech about, like, if I had to enforce a law, what would it be? And I would say I would make a law, you know, trying to enforce the laws that we already have against officers for police brutality, you know. And, you know, the main, and whilst I was writing this speech, it wasn't only my opinion, because I learned in debate that your opinion does not matter. Facts is what matters. And if you think your opinion matters, you need to find facts to back up your opinion, to say that you have some substance to what you're saying. You know, it's not just shit coming out of your mouth. And yeah, so I had wrote a speech about it, and, you know, I had to look up facts and everything. And, you know, it was saying that, like, only 3% of America, or only 3% of Americans experience police brutality. And to me, I was just like, in a lot of articles that I was looking up was saying 3%, and they were saying 4%, nothing higher than 4%. And I was just like, I bet you out of that 4%, 3% of it is black people. And that 4% isn't even realistic, because there's so many police brutality that happens to black people, and, you know, they don't die, and, you know, it's just not reported. There's people who have faced police, there are black people out there who have faced police brutality 5 different times in their life, and they've never reported not one. So there's so many police brutality that's not a case. It's not recorded as a case, because a lot of people do not report these things because they think it's normal. They've gotten used to the bad treatment from these officers, you know. And it's ridiculous. No one should ever get used to being treated like that. I've experienced some type of harassment from police officers, and it's not nice. I've experienced racism and prejudice and stereotypes and discrimination, and it's not nice. I've experienced homophobic people. You know, it's not nice. And, you know, it's just not, it's not okay, you know. It's not, and it will never ever be okay. As black people, we have been going through this for too long, and it's time to, you know, put an end to the violence, put an end to the crime, you know, stop these innocent lives from being taken. There's so many black mothers out there who don't know if their children will ever return home one day, and that's sad. You know how many black people, how many black innocent men haven't even graduated high school because they were killed? We get killed for buying Skittles at the drugstore. We get killed for jogging. We get killed for a $20 check. You know? We get killed for sleeping in our apartment at night. It's sad. It's very, 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 very sad. And it needs to stop. The racism in this country is tearing this country apart. America was never great. Correction, America has only ever been great for the white straight man, for the white cis man. Cis or cis? Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, look it up. CIS. CIS. And straight and white. And the white privilege is also bringing this country down a hell of a lot as well, because let me tell you, other side from racism, in 2020, as a country, as a nation, everyone is aware that racism is wrong. Everyone is aware that racism is looked at as an immoral thing. So racism itself isn't the only problem, because normally, you know, someone's being racist, they're canceled, cancel culture, you know, whatever, they're called out for it, and whatever. So it's not only racism, it's also the white privilege that this man was able to get away with it. He killed this man in broad daylight, and there were cameras in his face, and he didn't stop because people were recording him. He kept on going. So he felt brazen enough and bold enough, and he felt confident enough in his white privilege as a police officer to do these things to George Floyd, knowing that nothing was going to happen to him, or thinking that nothing was going to happen to him. And that right there is white privilege, and it speaks volumes. He was confident enough in himself as a white man to do these things on video with his face in it in broad daylight, knowing that nothing would be happening to him, that justice was not going to be bring forth for George Floyd, because it's happened to so many other people, and there was 13 other complaints against him from 2003 coming down to 2020. So he's done it before. He's killed black people before. He's killed minority groups before. It's not anything new. He also shot and wounded a Hispanic man, someone who is of a minority group. So it's not his first time killing a black man. It's not his first time harming and harassing minority groups. He's done it before, and he's also seen other fellow officers like himself do it before throughout this nation, throughout time. So he was confident enough in his white privilege, and his racism and his police brutality that justice would not be served. And even now, justice is still not being served. He was arrested for third-degree murder. He has not been prosecuted or tried, or put on trial, anything like that as yet. Third degree, if you did not know, is an accident. Second degree is it's not planned, but you still committed the murder willingly. First degree is premeditated, meaning that you planned it and you executed that person's murder. You know, you killed them. It was not an accident. If he was kneeling on his neck as a type of police tactic or whatever, because he was restraining arrest, and he said, I can't breathe, I can't feel my neck, I can't feel anything, everything hurts. But the first time you hear him say, I can't breathe, then you would stop. He didn't stop, he kept going. He was kneeling on his neck for 7 to 9 minutes. And there was also another video posted on social media recently showing that at some point in time in those 7 minutes, there were 2 other officers who were also holding him down. And not only that too as well, that little Asian officer who was standing there like a little bitch and watching everything happen. I'm not even surprised either, because there's a lot of anti-blackness in the Asian community. You know, y'all be seeing these little Blasian models on Instagram. They're one out of the few who married a black man or a black woman and had kids with them. There's a lot of anti-blackness in the Asian community. There's a lot of anti-blackness in a lot of communities. So I'm not even surprised that Asian officer let that happen, like the coward he is. You know, I don't know about y'all, but, you know, as a person of a minority group, we don't claim him. I don't claim him at all. Because he was helping bring down another person of his community, because, you know, it's the minority group. He's an Asian man, that was a black man. You sat there and let that white man kill that black man. Therefore, you were an accomplice in the murder. You should be tried as an accomplice to his murder. You brought down one of your own. Regardless of him not looking like you, he's one of your own. Because the same way how white people have treated us badly, it's the same way how white people have treated Asian people badly. White people treated Asian people so horrible when they first came to America. Have you never heard of the Chinese Exclusion Act? And it was not only the Chinese either, baby. Like, they treated them so awful. Even in the Vietnam War, which we had no business being there because it had nothing to do with America. We put ourselves there because we're nosy. Like, do you know how many villages those white soldiers shot up in Vietnam during the Vietnam War? Shot up. And you can't tell me I'm wrong. That was the last chapter I learned in school in U.S. history as well. So this information is fresh in my brain. Like, it's so sad. Like, it's really, really, really sad that this stuff is happening and it's unacceptable. And y'all care about a target more than y'all care about an innocent black man's life. And that right there is the problem. And that right there is why what happened to George Floyd and so many others happened in the first place. Y'all are so comfortable with, wearing the little bandana crop tops, wearing Jordans, listening to X and Juice World and Pop Smoke and Rihanna and Beyonce. Y'all are so comfortable with listening to Kevin Hart and watching Tyler Perry movies and, wearing box braids and, putting in dreads. Taking all our on my dog, on gang, on God. Y'all don't know about me in these streets. Y'all are so okay taking everything that we do, taking our culture and turning it into a fashion trend. But when it's time to stand up for us who are being killed for no reason, y'all are quiet. Y'all are at home chewing on a bag of chips, watching something on Netflix. And it's really, really sad. It needs to stop. There needs to be an end to this. Derek Chauvin should be charged with first-degree murder because he knew George Floyd for years. He actually worked with him. So that's premeditated murder, if you ask me. Because when he pulled him over, he knew he knew who he was. When he knelt on his neck, he knew who he was very, very well. Knew the family and everything, and he knew what he was doing to this man who he knew. So if you ask me, that's premeditated murder. That's first-degree murder. And George Floyd's brother also said, I read this in an article because I search up my facts. I don't only look at the videos on Instagram and TikTok. I search up my facts, and I read it in multiple different articles. George Floyd's brother said he took a life, he deserves life, and that is the realest statement I've heard in a long time. And the other officers that were there who stood there and let this happen and also held him down at a point in time deserve to be tried and locked up for being an accomplice in a murder. Nobody read this man his Miranda rights. He was already in handcuffs. He should have been handcuffed and placed in the back of a police car, not held down with a knee in his neck for 7 to 9 minutes. The man said, I can't breathe 11 different times. And they did nothing to help that innocent man. And all of this over what? A $20 check that they say he forged, which actually turned out to be false. It was not a forged check. Y'all will do anything to kill black people. And y'all will do anything to be like us. Y'all want to take all the good parts of what it comes with being black, but you're silent when we're out here dying in the streets for no reason. He chose to put that police badge on, and he makes the decision to put that police badge on every single day. George Floyd did not choose to be black. He was born black, and he cannot change that. He didn't choose to have a black mama, but he does, or he did until y'all killed him. No one has ever chose to be black. We were born this way. It's not something we can control. Y'all chose to be police officers. Y'all chose to work in law enforcement. Y'all chose to have that career, that profession. Y'all choose to put that badge and that uniform on every day. He chose to put his knee in his neck for 7 minutes. He chose to ignore George Floyd after he said, I can't breathe 11 different times. He chose to pull him over and cause a scene and do all that over $20. He chose to brutalize and harass and kill, cold-blooded murder that man. He chose to do all of that. And those other police officers, they chose to stand there and do nothing. And at one point in time when this was going on, they chose to hold him down after a knee was already in that man's neck. Y'all can't tell me that they did not choose that and that it was not wrong and that it wasn't their fault. And for that, I'm not going to wish death on nobody, but I hope y'all burn in hell. And that's on that. But anyways, that's enough. This video is probably going to be way longer than I thought it was going to be because I ended up talking for so long. But it needed to be said. and I may not have a lot of subscribers, so I know maybe only 10 people are gonna see this. But even if it's just 10 people, for those 10 people, please take something out of what I said. You know, they just started protests where I live, and I can't even go because I'm my mom's only child. She not gonna send me out there after all the tear gas and rubber bullets that's going around trying to kill me. She would never send me. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the pan, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven, and I'll get back to y'all when it's done. Alright, y'all, so I finished baking. You know, I kind of smelled it from my room, so here's kind of what it looks like. So, you know, they're supposed to be brownies, I guess, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a knife and just like cut them up into like little squares or whatever. So, you know, I think it came out more cake-like, regardless of me putting one egg instead of the two. Because like that's what it told me on the package. Put 2 eggs if you want it to be more of a cake, but put 1 egg if you want it to be like fudge brownies. I think it came out like a cake. Maybe I put too much water or oil or something. I don't know. But regardless of how whether it's a cake or a brownie, I know it's gonna taste good, so it's fine. 24. We're gonna disregard the fact that it took me that long. That 4 times 6 is 24. We're not even gonna get into all of that. Anyways, yes, I finished a brownie. Period. I felt like I would let it cool down and put a little icing on it or something or whatever, but I'm kind of hungry, so I might go ahead and eat one. But I think it's best first if I just get like a little container and put it into, and because I don't want to like leave it in there and then when I'm taking it out it kind of like sticks to the pan, or I don't want like any leftover cake to stick to the pan. I want to like take them out, wash up all the stuff, and then, you know, because it's late at night and my mama already told me don't leave nothing in her kitchen, because y'all don't know my mom, like she don't play. Like she will wake me up at 6 o'clock in the morning when she come here to make her coffee. Like she'll wake me up to come and wash the stuff that I left in here. So I'm gonna get a container and box them up. But like, let me just show y'all how they look real quick. Like, not even. Like, who you know chefing it up in the kitchen like me? I'll wait. But for real, y'all, like, there's no reason why I should have 50-something thousand people on my Snap and have 2.7K followers on Instagram, but only 24 subscribers on here. Y'all need to subscribe, and don't only subscribe and forget about my channel. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. You know, you could post my video or post the link that's in my bio on your story on Instagram and at me in it, and I'll follow you, you know, whatever. Subscribe. Come join the family, period. Now I'm gonna taste an actual piece of the brownie, like an actual real brownie. I'm gonna taste it. Delicious, amazing. I should sell these. Like, let me find a homemade recipe from scratch and it's done for. It's done. You already know it's your Jamaican Ari. You know, my accounts of all my social media is gonna be in the little description box below. Subscribe, like, comment, share, all of that, period. You know, be a part of the family. But yeah, so that's that. All right, bye guys.